Here's the skinny on creating designs for our new full cut and sew ties. You might be wondering how these new ties differ from the other ties that we offer on the site. The tie we've been offering since the early days of Zazzle is done with sublimation printing, meaning the design is printed right on the pre-made white tie. The new tie we've just introduced is full cut and sew, and what that means is we print the design on the fabric first and then we sew the tie. The print on the original tie only goes to the edge and is not printed in every nook and cranny. It comes in at a lower price point and is not as refined as our new ties. Our full cut and sew ties are elegant and perfect for the office or dressing up and going out. They're also great for everyday wear, a perfect way to set yourself apart from the crowd. Here are some tips for designing for these full cut and sew ties. You can choose between a skinny, medium, or wide tie. You'll see that the tie is comprised of three parts: the front, the neck, which is the middle section of the tie, and then what we'll call the back flap. First, you'll want your design or pattern to be long enough to cover the entire front of the tie. Or you can take a smaller image and tile it to fill out the remaining part of the fabric. You'll know that you're adding the image to the front because either you've clicked here or because your design area is set for front, images, and text. And you'll do the same for the neck and back flap. Now click Add Image. Make certain that this looks as good as it does here in the In Situ view because the front is what matters most when the tie is tied. Next, let's add the back flap, also known as the back. And then let's add the neck portion. And since I didn't add the same pattern in all three areas, you can clearly make out the delineation of each part of the tie. Now, let's remove the design and look at the tie in Art View with the boundaries on so you can understand how it's sewn. The outer edge is the thick solid red line and it runs to the solid black line, and this creates the inner seam. That inner seam is folded in again to the dotted red line to create the exterior seam. Then both sides are stitched together. This also happens for the seams at the top and bottom of the tie. Now let me show you one more thing, and this relates to when you add the same design to all three pieces of the tie. Please be aware that the size of what is on your print changes depending on what piece of the tie you've added the design to. The design will appear slightly smaller on the back flap and even smaller on the neck unless you go in and edit it yourself. Thanks for watching. We're excited to see what kinds of fashion statements you'll make with your designs for cut and sewed ties.